Hi everyone, Liz here from Garden Happy. Oh my goodness, it's such a beautiful day. So I thought it would be perfect to take you on a little garden tour of my backyard, my happy place, my little slice of heaven. But today's garden tour is going to be really different. If you've watched any of my videos, what I normally do is I play music. Today's going to be different. I'm actually going to narrate everything and talk to you. I feel that a garden is a good representation of one's personality. So this time I figured I would just kind of like let you get to know a little bit more about me. So without further ado, I hope you enjoy my little postage stamp in this big world. So if you've seen any of my videos, you know I always like to start here. This is the iron structure. It's the main focal point of my garden and just my absolute favorite. Believe it or not, but a friend of ours, a friend of hubby and I, found this iron structure sitting on the side of the road. Can you believe somebody was throwing it away? And they said, hey, I know who would like this, Liz. And yes, they were right. It's just beautiful. And these clawfoot bathtubs, oh my goodness, they are my favorite. Believe it or not, anybody who collects these knows how expensive they are. Hubby and I got these for 50 bucks at a yard sale. Can you believe it? This is my dwarf butterfly bush. And it's in full bloom right now. Let me swing around this way. So pretty, so much color. And then we have a golden yarrow, which is absolutely beautiful. We have some salvia growing underneath this queen palm. And I know you've all heard of Super Tunia Vista bubblegum. They are just so beautiful. So that's what this is. And in case anybody ever wonders why I grow so many things in pots or elevated, it's because I have a big giant dog. Her name is Rosie and she's an English Mastiff. And she loves to dig. And speaking of crowing, I also have chickens. So that's why I grow a lot of things raised up. So the chickens can't ruin them and my dog can't trample on them. So there's a couple pots behind the tub. And look at the plumbago. I know eventually it's going to outgrow this container for sure. But I just thought I would start it in there. It's so pretty and it adds some color behind the bathtub. This is a volunteer sunflower. So now we're coming to the little chicken corner. Again, the reason why I have this little fence around here is to keep the chickens out and to keep the dog out. So we have some zinnia here. They'll be blooming soon, I hope. A volunteer sunflower, a blue salvia, and these what are they called? Sweet pea bushes. One in each pot. And one of my favorites is a sedum autumn joy. And if you look below it, there's a little one in a pot. I started that. I took a cutting from the sedum autumn joy and I put it in that pot and it'll eventually get big. So some lady, I found this bench at a garage sale. The lady told me the story. Her husband made it. Of course, when I got it, I painted it. And these are my beautiful Pearl von Nunberg succulents. Love them. So we have some gladiolas that will be blooming soon and definitely the lilies. Oh, I can't wait to see those. Again, a little fence to keep the chickens and my dog out. This little antique chair that I love so much. Above that is a pink jasmine. Oh my goodness, in the springtime it's absolutely beautiful. You know, I don't know the names of all my plants. I just go to the garden center and if it's pretty, I get it, and I can't remember everything. I never claimed to be a pro. So here's my narrow space garden. I made a video on this. It's only 3.5 feet wide. Can you believe it? But I have like over 12 pots in here. So we have bell peppers. Lunchbox orange is definitely my favorite. An eggplant. Tomato. This tomato is my favorite. Oh my goodness, I come out here and snack on it every day. Pretty soon it's gonna outgrow this cage, but that's okay, I have a perfect fix for that. And I don't know the proper name, but this is a Mexican sunflower. Another tomato 1000. Another Mexican sunflower, tomato. This lettuce was so good, but now that the weather's heating up, it's done. I'll probably feed that to the chickens. And a beautiful cucumber. This broccoli is also finished. I'm waiting for it to go to seed so I can harvest those for the fall. Another tomato. I'm gonna plant something in here today. And another tomato. So that is my narrow space garden, which is right next to the chicken coop. And this is Mohawk. You probably hear him all the time crowing and squawking and gawking in my videos. He's a Polish Tolbert rooster. And this is where I throw a lot of my plants. I compost everything. I don't throw anything away. And let's see what my other chickens are doing. Oh, they're taking a little dust bath. They're so sweet. Okay, what else can we see in my garden? So much. So you're probably wondering what's up with all the doors. It's a very good question. It all started hubby and I going to a garage sale and we saw a door, and I remembered a YouTube video I saw where there was a painted door in the lady's backyard. So I told hubby, let's get the door, I want to do that. Well, one door led to another, and before you knew it, I was completely obsessed. So here is an azalea. It's already done blooming. It was absolutely beautiful. And a creeping Jenny, which is completely thriving. And again, you see that I'm growing things in containers because of my big dog. So I just figured some tires would look kind of funky and kind of my style. My husband actually builds cars next to this garden, and he always has these leftover tires. So rather than throwing them away, I said, hey, I'll take them. We can put them in the yard. So here we have a Euphorbia martini. And tell me what's wrong with this plant. It looks like there's two plants in one. The plant, or I should say the part on the left, looks like what I bought. However, this part looks different. So I don't know if these hybrid varieties start growing to their true form or they accidentally put two plants in one. I would love to know what you all think. This is my gardenia that smells absolutely beautiful. And as you can see, this is in some tires as well. Okay, so let me tell you the story behind this zebra door. Hubby and I were out garage sailing and going to thrift stores, and we were driving by this farm, and there was zebras behind the fence. Usually you see horses and cows, but this house had zebras. So we pulled over and I got to pet them. And when I came home, hubby said, so what are you gonna paint for your next door? And I said, I'm gonna paint zebras. He said, how are you gonna do that? And I go, just watch. So that's my zebra door, inspired by a zebra I got to pet. Okay, now here is my little barrel succulent display. A friend of mine was moving out of California, and her grandfather actually made this, but because she was moving out of California, she couldn't take it with her. So she asked me if I wanted it, and I'm like, yeah. Once again, do you need to ask? So it's made from some sort of barrel and tractor parts. I have no idea. Her grandfather made it, and of course, I put my little touch on it by painting it. And it's filled with all kinds of little succulents, some haworthias, if that's how I'm pronouncing them right, and chicks and hens, and they do so good in this area. So I drilled some holes at the bottom of this barrel so the water can drain, and these are string of bananas. It's a very hardy plant, obviously, because my dog Rosie and chickens didn't destroy it yet. This clematis sure was a showstopper in the spring. But I still think that all the little seed puffs add some interest to the garden. Okay, and we have another little corner garden, fenced off, of course, because of you know who, good old Rosie. Oh, look at my clematis is blooming again. Well, it's budding, I should say. How awesome is that? Look at all the little buds. I love this plant. I forget the name of it. I'll try to find it and post it. It produces these beautiful red berries in the winter. A lot of people say they find it very hard to grow, but it likes continuous moisture, so I just keep water in the base, and it always can take a drink whenever it wants. And now we're coming up to one of my favorite spots in the garden, my little red bottle tree area, featuring a jade plant, a vinca illumination, so pretty, and some carex grass behind it. We have a Pearl von Nunberg in an old vintage water pitcher, if that's what you want to call it. And some more succulents. As I said, planting things raised and elevated, it really prevents my dog and the chickens from destroying it. We have this beautiful shrub, I forget what it's called, and of course you know why there's a cage around it. As soon as it gets bigger, I'll remove the cage, but I'm just kind of babying it right now. Let me zoom in and show you how beautiful the leaves are. It just adds so much color to this area, I think. This is a volunteer sunflower. I did not plant this, and I don't have the heart to take it down even though it's falling over, because the birds go crazy on this every day, and the bees. They're really feasting from this, so I'm just gonna leave it alone and let them enjoy it, because I really enjoy all the nature back here. I grow are for the pollinators, not just my own consumption. And here is my succulent propagation station. Say that 10 times fast. So these 3 benches actually came from a bus stop in Stockton, California. They were given to me by the same friend who moved out of California. She couldn't take them with her, so I voluntarily took them off her hands, and I painted them and stacked them up, and now I have a great place to put all my succulents. This is a string of pickles given to me by my daughter. All sorts of fun stuff. My girlfriend painted that for me. It's a piece of a whiskey barrel. How sweet, huh? She painted it to replicate the other 2 doors on the right-hand side. So my propagation station, which leads to the fan favorite, my sunflower door. I painted these doors in my kitchen, and then when they dried, I bring them out to the backyard. These doors are my 2 favorites, and because they're protected underneath the Japanese maple tree, they don't get as much sun, so I know they're not going to fade as quick. And basically, this door says it all. Love grows here. And here's my vintage lawnmower. Can you believe it actually works? Hubby and I got this at a garage sale for, I think, $15. I thought it would make a really colorful display of yard art. And check this out, this old wheel. This came off of a Model T, I kid you not. How cool is that? Behind it we have a Vinca Woohoo gem that's trailing down, and we have a Fatsia Japonica. And I'm gonna get some screen and cover back there because that's where my hubby keeps a lot of his junk behind his building. And I make horseshoe flowers out of horseshoes and another clematis. I don't really want to show you this area too much. Behind me is a dog kennel, so if you ever hear dogs barking in my videos, that is why. So this is my little paradise, my little slice of heaven, my happy place. Okay, now looking the other direction, I planted all these Shasta daisies from seed. They didn't even flower last year. I think they were still establishing roots, but this year they surprised me with a prolific show. And behind this is another butterfly bush. This butterfly bush actually came out of the same container as the first one that I showed you in the beginning of the video. This was one of those cases where the nursery put 2 plants in one pot and I separated them. And look how big it is. It's definitely thriving. Here's my purple hyacinth bean vine. It's really growing nice and tall. And on this side is a scarlet bean runner. This is my first time growing these. And here's my little bird bath. If you want to attract birds to your garden, I highly recommend adding some water. Once I added this little bath, it was a game changer. Birds come here every day to drink and to play. It's so beautiful to just watch them. So now we're entering a special little area of my garden. This is where I do a lot of my work, paint, look at YouTube videos on my phone, and just hang out. It's my special little place. I got these 3 little mirrors at a thrift store and I put my own little touch on them and painted them. As you can tell, I love color. I found these colored bottles either at garage sales or thrift stores. Here's some garlic that I just harvested and now it's drying. A little watering can, one for my granddaughter and one for me, and I just harvested this zucchini yesterday as well. So this special little cart was actually being thrown away on the sidewalk. I found it on the street. Of course it wasn't painted like this, I did that myself. But I got this cart for free. Somebody was throwing it away. My father always taught me that one man's junk is another man's treasure. And it's on wheels, it rolls around. So these cute little colored rocks, my girlfriend painted those for me. My girlfriend and all of her kids. I thought that was really special. They know how much I love color. We have some coleus. They do so well here because they get sheltered and shade. An old vintage sink. I bought this at the same place as those bathtubs. Some turquoise colored bottles back there. More shovels that I painted. And a piece of corrugated metal from hubby's job site. And I painted that. And yes, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I hope you enjoyed seeing this little part of my garden. There's so much more, but I think this was a good start. I always say that some people strive for perfection while others just want to have fun. That's me. And I hope you enjoyed yourself too. Bye.